Salvete discipuli. Let's get to translating. Yay, translating practice. I find that translating practice is, while going over individual concepts and kind of drilling them is great, and it is certainly one way to learn. I'm not a big fan of drilling things for memorization. Now, it worked when I was going through college, and it is the way that a lot of colleges, especially at the beginning when you're taking Latin and other classical languages, but those are classes you are taking every day during the school week, and you're also taking multiple courses within the language multiple days a week, and that's just not what's happening for a lot of younger Latin students, or for students who are not majoring in the language. So when I teach this, I don't teach to memorize, because it's not useful. It was useful for me as a Latin major to do that, but it's not really useful for people who are not Latin majors to do that. I would rather kind of teach you how to recognize things and how to use your resources and how to build your resources and how to kind of navigate through translation, than to teach you to memorize a bunch of things that you don't necessarily know how to apply, or aren't given the space and time to like build up that library in your head and then apply it to the page. So that's why I am more a fan of throwing out some simple Latin, talking about parts of speech, what declension something is, what conjugation something is, how you tell, what that means, and then what cool grammar comes up in the sentence itself. So let's get into another sentence in this long series of sentence translations. I think this is going to be this is number 8. This is the 8th sentence that we've kind of done this with. The sentence we're going to do today is Experentia esse carus magister sed stulti habebunt nullum alium. It's a lot of time looking at this kind of scratched up dirty white sheet while I'm talking. My apologies. I should have put something more exciting to look at on there. So Experentia, which I always want to say experience. Now I can't say it because I've been practicing. Experentia, but there's no I in here. It's just Experentia. This is the true Latin form. It's not been anglicized there. Okay, so Experentia. So I lost my place because I was jabberwockying. Esse carus magister sed stulti habebunt nullum alium. So the sentence is a little bit longer than like the last sentence. And one of the things that we like to do that I do is break up sentences into different, and I'm not alone in this. This is like what everybody does, but it's important to break your sentences up into clauses and not only because that's just, you want to do the parts that are grammatically go together, but also because it's easier to take small chunks of the sentence and work them out and then put them back together than it is to try and just like work it out all at once. So when we have text from like a beginner's textbook, and I mean, for things that are meant for, things that are meant for students or like non-students that want to do anything in Latin, you usually get some punctuation in there. But if you were to pull something up like an inscription, for example, I'm going to pull up an inscription really quickly here. So like this inscription here. Now on the bottom line, you can see there's little dots between or before and after fair there, F-E-R, and those are interpuncts. And there are going to be things like that. But for the most part, Latin's going to be written out with next to no spaces, no punctuation. Like when you look at it in the text or in like earlier inscription and stuff, this is kind of a later inscription. This was from a class I took in college. So in the beginning, you kind of are given a whole lot of help in the form of punctuation to know where the clauses end, where the clauses begin, where the clauses end, how the sentence flows. But if I were to remove, we'll keep the period just because it's one sentence. But if I were to remove that, that comma right there, how do we look at this sentence? How do you look at this sentence as a beginning Latin student and know where to draw the line? How do you know where to draw the line? What are things that you should be looking for? So for clauses, things that indicate clauses, things that indicate clauses. Is that going to fit all in frame? Yeah, it will. All right. Okay, so things that are going to indicate clauses are going to be conjunctions. Not always. Sometimes conjunctions are going to be listing things, like et is a conjunction that means and. So you could get like a list of things. This, at this, at this, at this. This and this and this and this and this. And that's not, those aren't like a bunch of different clauses. That's just a list of things. But et can work just like and works in English. So blah, 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 comma, and new clause. So conjunctions are things that you could look for. So et, that's and in English. And this is not going to be an exhaustive list of conjunctions. It's just going to be a few very common ones, high frequency ones. Said, that's like but or however. Another one is neck. So this is and not. So it's basically and, it's a conjunction that's and, but it's negated, and not. There's also que, oops, dash que. And que here is what's called an enclitic. It also means and. It's tacked on to the end of a word. So if you're familiar with SPQR, so senatus, populusque, oh, populus, not los, populusque, Romanus. That's the Roman Senate and people. Que here is at the very end. That means and. That is how an enclitic works. It just gets tacked on to the end of a word here. So, and it's usually the last word in a string of words that you're going to turn into kind of a list or something like that. So let's see, Senate, Roman, Senate, and people. SPQR. Okay. All right. So one way is conjunctions. that indicates clauses. Another way is one that we've had a lot because the string of sentences we've been translating is emphasizing relative pronouns and interrogative pronouns. You have relative and interrogative. Pronouns. So you start with the pronoun and you go till you hit a verb or end a sentence, period. Okay, so conjunctions, relative, interrogative pronouns, things like connecting relatives also. It's a type of adverb. So we'll just put like adverbs, special adverbs. And to that, I will add certain prepositions. So we'll put SP to understand that means special. Another thing to look for is mood change. The mood, so the mode of the verb, mood change, verb. All these sentences, and the sentence for a while, probably until, until we get back from winter break here, probably just gonna be working in the indicative. All of these verbs thus far have been in the indicative, but when you are working in the indicative and you have a mood change into something like the subjunctive, or even a mood change into the imperative, that signals a clause. That's its own clause. It needs to be, it needs to be isolated so that you can determine like, okay, so what's the mood here, and what grammatical construction is this, so I know how to translate it. Something that goes together with an adverb and a mood change is something like a cum clause. Well, you have a cum clause with cum plus an indicative, and you don't have that cum, which is generally a preposition, doesn't have an ablative noun to govern, then you can use it to trigger a temporal cum clause, which then makes cum mean, instead of like with something like accompaniment, then it becomes something like when this happens, bleh. Okay, so here are just a few ways to recognize when you need to mark a clause. And I feel like I have, and I will try and make sure that I am continuing to say why we are marking a clause, where we're marking it. All right, let's get to this sentence. A little bit long. I don't want it to take all day. So Experentia esse carus magister sed stulti habebunt nullum alium. Our parts of speech are going to be Experentia, that is a noun. Est, this is a verb. Carus magister, this is an adjective. And this is a noun. Sed, this is a conjunction. Stulti, this is both a noun and kind of an adjective, and I'll explain that when we get to this part. Habebunt, this is a verb. Nullum alium, this is a noun, and this is an adjective. Okay, so what do we have in this sentence that would trigger a clause, its own clause? The conjunction, sed. So we're going to take sed down to nullum alium, and then we're going to take Experentia to magister. All right, let's put Experentia est carus magister onto its own sheet. Magister. Okay. So our verb here is est. what does our verb tell us? Our verb tells us, it gives us information not only on like what's the action of the sentence or the clause. It also tells us the mood. It tells us the voice. So as far as the mood goes, is this an indicative? Is it telling us the facts of what's happening? Is it subjunctive? Is it unsure? Is it imperative? Is it an order? Well, this form right here, est, is an indicative form. Verb also tells us tense. When is this happening? This form is in the present system, which has present, imperfect, and future in it. This specific form is the third person singular in the present. Is, he, she, it is. Yeah, it tells us, the verb will tell us if our subject is singular or plural. It will tell us if the subject is a first person, I, me, a second person, you, y'all, or a third person, he, she, it, or they. This is telling us singular and third person. So it is a he, she, or it. So that's what we'll put. He, she, it. And then what do they do? What does he, she, or it do? Est is from sum esse, to be. He, she, it is. Now we have to figure out what is. So what else do we have in this sentence? We have verb, we have a noun. Ooh, is that the subject? We have another noun. Ooh, is that the subject? And we have an adjective. Ooh, is that modifying the subject? So we'll start with, we'll decline all of these to see where we're at, and then we'll figure out what's happening there. So experentia, this is a feminine first declension noun. Experentia. Experentia. So like I said, it's a first declension. Everything in the first declension is feminine. And this means, just like what it looks like, it means experience. Oops, I'm trying to write the same word. Experience. My goodness. Got so used to the Latin form, I forgot to anglicize it. So anglicize just means taking something and making it English, like the words, anytime you see like faction on the end of something, satisfaction, or like manufacturing, like that is from facio facere, and that is an anglicism of, it's an anglicized version of factus, facta, factum. So like I said, satisfaction is from satis factus or satis factum. Satisfaction. Manufacture. This is like manufactus, manus being hand. Factus, this is a perfect, it's an anglicism, anglicized version of factus, which is having been made. So having been made by hand, that's what manufacture means. If you are a biology-minded person, that direction you want to take, you might know this next one, or you might become familiar with this next one, putrefaction. So this one is kind of gross. This is putre from putris, putre, which means like rotten or rotting, decaying. And this again is having been made. So having been made rotten, having been made decaying, that's what putrefaction means. Anyway, pardon the digression. back to declining this word. Okay, so in the nominative singular, experentia. In the genitive singular, experentiae, that's given to us up here. This is nominative singular, it's genitive singular. So experience, of experience. In the dative, there's my pen, experentiae, to for experience. In the accusative, experentiam, experience as a direct object. And then in the ablative, experentia, by, with, experience. So that's a singular. In the plural, experentia, experiences. In the genitive, experentiarum, of experiences. In the dative, come back here. In the dative, experentiis, experentiis. In the accusative, experentias. In the ablative, experentiis. All right, so that's this one all declined. The form on the, or in the sentence, in the clause that we are working with first, is experentia, ending in ia. That is the nominative singular form and the ablative singular form. Now, which is this one? Is this one nominative singular, or is this one ablative singular? Well, so unless we have something that indicates ablative, like a verb of separation, which we don't have here, or some kind of preposition, it's probably not going to be ablative, especially with the form of sumesse. Sumesse is telling us something is something. The odds are this is going to be a nominative, so we're going to mark it as such. It's a nominative singular. This is the subject of our verb, experience. Experience is, okay, so what is experience? Experience is carus magister. Carus, let's go ahead, oops, that's the wrong one. Let's go ahead and decline out carus. Okay, so carus is a first, second declension adjective. So we have the masculine form carus, which means we need a feminine form, cara, and a neuter form, carum. We'll put over here, first, second, declension adjective. Okay, so this means dear, not deer as in like D-E-E-R. There's it's not deer like I have antlers kind of deer. That's antlers, just in case you were wondering what that was, antlers. So dear is in like close to me, precious to me. It also means like precious, something that is important in a kind of close and intimate way, or like another form could be like, it seems strange, but like expensive, but expensive in a way that's like emotionally expensive, if that makes sense. Okay, so let's do some declining. This side is going to be singular. This side is going to be plural. We're going to have 3 columns, masculine, feminine, and neuter. So we have these forms up here, carus, carus, cara, carum. So that's in the nominative. So dear, 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 masculine, feminine, neuter. Let me put those little indicators up above, masculine, feminine, and neuter. Dear masculine, dear feminine, dear neuter. And then that's the nominative form genitive, cari in the masculine, cari in the feminine, cari in the neuter. So that's of care, of dear, of precious, of expensive. In the dative, caro, cari, caro. So 2 for dear, 2 for precious, 2 for expensive. In the accusative, carum, carum, carum. So this is dear as a direct object. And then in the ablative, caro, cara, caro. Okay, so that is the singular. Those are the singular forms. In the plural forms, we have cari. In the masculine plural, put a little M up there. Cari. In the feminine plural, cara. In the neuter plural. In the genitive plural, carorum, cararum, carorum. In the dative plural, caris, caris, caris. In the accusative plural, caros, caros, cara. In the ablative plural, caris, caris, caris. So what's the form that we have in our sentence? Carus, and there's only one form like that on our chart. That is the masculine nominative singular, okay? So this is the masculine nominative singular form. So masculine nominative singular. So is this modifying Experentia up here, or Experentia? No, because remember, adjectives have to agree with the noun in gender, number, and case. Number, yes, both are singular. Case, yes, both are nominative. Gender, no. Experentia is a feminine, and carus is a masculine. Okay, so dear, dear / precious. All right, so what about magister? Let's look at magister. Let's get another sheet out here for magister. Magister, magistri. This is a second declension noun. So magister, magistri. Second declension, meaning it's either going to be a neuter or a masculine. In this case, it is a masculine. So magister is like teacher / master, but not like master as in like master slave. Master more as in somebody who has become a master of their field, of their study, of their practice, of their art. Okay, so teacher, master, instructor. So this one can be either like a a noun, or it can be like an adjective, because there is a magistra. Technically there is a magistrum, although these refer to like teachers, and in Latin there is a word for a like someone who is neither man nor woman, but their neuter is, if you're referring to a person, it's generally going to be like a eunuch and not like we understand like a non-binary person. So you would have a magister, you have a magistra. Technically you have a magistrum, but I don't know that it would be used. Okay, so how do we decline this? Like we decline puer, pueri. We start with this right here. This is our nominative singular, magister. This is our singular on this side, plural on this side. Magister, master, teacher, nominative as the subject. Magistri, of the teacher, of the master. Magistro, that is to for the teacher. To for the master. Again, master as in master of the craft. There is another word for like master slave. That's dominus, domino, dominum. This one is for like, I studied a whole bunch, kind of think like master's degree in that vein. Okay, so magistrum is our accusative. The master, the teacher, as the direct object. And in the ablative, magistro, by with the master, by with the teacher. So that's our singular. Let's look at our plural here. Magistri, the masters. In the genitive, magistrorum, of the masters, of the teachers. The dative, magistris, to for the masters, to for the teachers. Magistros, the teachers as the direct object. And then magistris, the teachers, by with the teachers, and the ablative, by with the teachers. So the form that we have in our sentence is the nominative singular form. Also masculine. So carus there is not modifying experentia, it's modifying magister, the singular nominative. That's just going to be the portmanteau there. Singular nominative, that's singulative. No, it's singular nominative masculine form, magister. So this is teacher, master. So experience is a dear / precious teacher or master. How do you know that est is the experience is the subject of est? I mean, you could do it the other way. A precious teacher is experience. It doesn't change it. It really doesn't. This he, she, it here is just to remind you that that this is a third person singular, and that one of those things is going to be the subject, and that's what it is. It isn't just like is. It's like he, she, it is. It's an inflected verb. So what we have here, we have a thing in the nominative equals a thing in the nominative with the form sum esse. We have a predicate nominative. This is not a simile. It's not an analogy. It's a predicate nominative. This thing is this thing. X thing in the nominative is Y thing in the nominative, not alike, not akin, not similar. No, it is this. Okay, that's what a predicate nominative means. Thing in the nominative is, form assume esse, that thing in that other thing in the nominative in this same clause. Okay, so experience is a dear, precious, expensive teacher or master. All right, so that's our first clause. What's our next clause? Get out of here, paper. We're done with you. We figured out that clause. Get out of the way. It's not your turn now. Sed stulti habebunt nullum alium. So sed stulti habebunt. Sed stulti habebunt nullum alium. It's alium, just making sure that I wrote the right word, because sometimes it's alium, not alium. Sometimes my own writing gets a little alium. Sometimes my own writing gets a little all over the place, even for me. So let's double check. Whoops. Okay. So our parts of speech here are what? Conjunction with sed. Stulti. This could be an adjective or a noun, and we'll go into that. Habebunt, this is a verb. Nullum, this is a noun, but also another one of those things that could be an adjective. And alium, alium itself is an adjective. Okay. Sed, this is a conjunction that means but, like as in however. So but, however, yet, things such as that. Let's go for the verb next, so we know what to look for as far as subject of our verb. So habebunt is the verb here, and it's from habeo habere. So let's conjugate habeo habere. Oh, this one's got yellow on it. Hopefully this takes it right off and I wipe it down later. All right, so habeo, habere, habui, habitum. What conjugation is this? To figure that out, we look at the first principal part at the ending, the two vowels at the end of the vowel or the two vowels at the end of the first principal part, EO, and then at the ending, at the terminus of the second principal part, ERE. EO and ERE, that is a second, that's the way the second conjugation ends. So this is a second conjugation. First conjugation ends O and ARE, second conjugation ends EO, ERE, third conjugation ends O, ERE, third IO ends IO, ERE, fourth ends IO and IRE. Habeo, habere, habui, habitum. This is a verb that means have. So to have, or to hold, even like to consider. What's another good one? Keep is a good one. All right, so the stem, what's our stem? We are in the second conjugation, don't forget, so we don't have any kind of malarkey going on with our vowel here, so that's nice. Let's get a good color for our stem. So our stem is going to be everything before the terminus here. So HAB, and then we get to keep our thematic vowel because we are in second conjugation, and our thematic vowel is that E there. Okay, so let's make our chart. So here's our present right over here. Present, singular, first person, second person, third person. Bloop, bleep, blop. There's plural. Imperfect. So imperfect always has a tense indicator. BA. So there's first person, there's second person, there's third person, singular. Oops, and plural. Okay, and then future. Make room for future. It's the future. There's future, singular, first person, second person, third person. Imperfect always has a tense indicator in, there's a tense indicator in the future, in first conjugation and second conjugation. We are in second conjugation, so we're going to have a tense indicator. All right, our stem, hob, H-A-B, hob, all the way down. Hob, and we'll give us a little bit more room, although I don't really need it in present. It might be a good practice to have here. Don't really leave myself enough room to conjugate, to write out all the forms. So we got hob, hob, hob. This is not a very fine tipped pen. I might have to find a different one for stems. Not had. Hand, you're betraying me. Write the right thing. Hab, there we go. Hab, 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 yowza, hab. Now, if I had the wherewithal and the, let's be real, if I had the time and desire to edit this, you would get a little bit of a fast forward and not have to wait through me or figure out how to scrub through, wait through me writing these all out. They would just speed up really quickly. But no, sorry, you gotta suffer through me scribbling down in real time. All right, so we've got our stem. Now to the thematic vowel. Even the first person singular has it in second conjugation. So everybody gonna get the thematic vowel, no matter if they are present, imperfect, or even the future. Okay. So in the present, we do, for second conjugation, we do stem plus vowel plus personal ending. So we've got stem, got vowel, now it's time for personal ending. Oh, in the first person singular, habeo, I have, I hold, I consider, I keep. Second person singular is esse, habes, you have, you hold, you consider, you keep. Third person singular, t, he has, he holds. First person plural, mus, we have. Second person plural, tis, oh, I guess I didn't say that, habemus, we have. Habetus, y'all have, oh man, that's really smudgy. Oh well. NT in third person singular, or third person plural, sorry, habent, and that is present. Habeo, habes, habet, habemus, habetis, I could read right in there for a second, habent. I have, you have, he has, we have, y'all have, they have. In the imperfect, we have to go ahead and put in our tense indicator. Everybody gets a ba in imperfect, okay? So everybody. Ba, 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 ba. In the future, there is a tense indicator, bo, bi, and bo. Bo in the first person singular, bi in second person singular, third person singular, first person plural, second person plural, and bu in third person plural. Now that we have the, for imperfect and for future in the second conjugation, we have the stem, the vowel, and the tense indicator on both. And now you get the personal endings. M in first person singular and imperfect. Habebam, I used to have, I was having, I used to have. S in second person singular, habebas, you were having, you used to have. Third person singular, T, habebat, she was having, she used to have. Mus in first person plural, habemus, habebamus, we were having, we used to have. Tis in second person plural, habebatis, y'all used to have, y'all were having. nt in third person plural, habebunt. They were having, they used to have. Oh, it's so messy. All right, in the future, the O is already there. Habebo, I will have. In the second person singular, bis, habebis, you will have. T in the third person singular, habebit, it will have. Mus in the first person plural, habebimus, we will have, right? I said habebit, right? I don't know if I'm saying that in between part. It's kind of going on autopilot a little bit. Also, I've got a barking dog, so it's a little bit distracting. In the second person plural, tis, habebitis, and in the third person plural, nt, habebunt. Oof, that's so messy. All right, so what do we have in our sentence here? We have habebunt, and this is the third person plural in the future. Okay, so they being the subject of the verb here. So they, we don't know, we know it's plural, we know it's third person. So we have number and we have person. We don't have gender though. They, what else did we say we have? They hold, they consider, they keep. Let's just go with have for now. Let's see if we have a one that we like better. So they have, but they have. Okay, great. Now what? Who's they and what do they have? So looking at the verb, we know it's plural. So now we need something else plural to be the subject, because the first part talks about experience, and experience is, the form of experience we have is a singular. So that's not the, hey, I'm recording a class. That's enough. That's enough. I'm recording a class. Anyway, we need something in the plural here. Stulti. Stulti is a plural form. You look at nullum, we haven't had anything yet that has as a plural form. Stulti. What is stulti? Stulti is kind of cool because it can act as either an adjective or it can act as a noun. So let's go ahead and decline it as an adjective first, and then I will just kind of highlight the noun form that we have here. So this, like I said, it could be an adjective. Being an adjective in the first, second declension, it has 3 nominative forms. So stultus, that's masculine. Stulta, that's the feminine. And stultum, that is the neuter. So that's a first, second declension adjective. Okay, so let's pull out our colored pens. So we'll have our singular on this side, our plural on that side. Start with stultus. These are all the nominative singular forms. Stultus, this is the masculine. Oh, whoops, I forgot to write down what it means. It means fool. So the fool, the foolish, or stupid. So foolish, stupid. As an adjective, when it is used as a noun, it's the fool. So masculine here, make sure I'm in frame. All right, stultus. Masculine singular, stulta. Stultum. Oh boy, I don't know that I'm gonna have room. We'll write out the plural too. Ugh, wait. I gotta, let's do a little redo here real quick because there's no way I'm gonna fit the rest on there. Absolutely no way it's gonna fit. Hold on. Rewind, replay. call a mulligan. Let's see how far out of frame I can get. So stultus, stulta, stultum. Okay, maybe I'll have room, we'll see. Stulti, I'm gonna have to write my genitive plurals really small. Stulti, stulti, stulta. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to write the genitive plurals very, very small. Okay, so first, second declension. So they all decline exactly like a first, second declension. So we have stultus, stulti, stulti, stulti. We'll go ahead and do the plural just because it's right here. Stultorum. Oh. Stultarum. Stultorum. Oh boy. That did not truly fit. Oh well. Orum, aurum, orum. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Not great. Not a great look. Well, it's fine. Masculine, feminine, and neuter, singular. Masculine, feminine, neuter, plural. So those are all the nominatives. So fool, fools, a fool of fools. In the dative, stulto, stulti, stulto. In the plural, stultis, oops, stultis, 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 stultis. Yikes, all the way across. In the accusative, stultum, 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 stultos, stultas, stulta. And then in our ablative, stulto, stulta, stulto. In the plural, stultis, stultis, stultis. All right, so those are the masculine, feminine, and neuter forms in the singular and in the plural. So in our sentence, we have stulti, and I said if it was going to be used as a noun, it would be all masculine, because stulti is not a form that exists in feminine. It does exist in neuter, but the verb is plural, and that's the only thing that could be a plural form there. The other two can't. So it would have to be the masculine. Technically, you could use any of these in what's called substantively, where you have the adjective standing in as a noun. You could use stulta, stultum, just depends on like if you were trying to say the foolish thing as a noun, the foolish thing as a feminine noun, is the foolish thing as a neuter noun, okay? So this form, stulti, can either be the genitive singular form or the masculine neuter form, plural. There's nothing else in the plural to be the subject of habebunt. So stulti here is going to have to be the nominative plural form in order to be the subject of habebunt here. So stulti habebunt, so it's like the foolish, the fools, the demes. So the fools, but the fools what? But the fools have. What do the fools have? The fools have nullum, alium. So let's do Some more declining. We'll start with nullum. Nullum is another one that again can be like stultus. Either this one is an adjective or it's a substantive, because it is its own noun as well. It is its own like masculine noun. We'll go ahead and do the same thing that we did with stultus, but I'm going to do it a little bit better so it doesn't turn out so messy. All right, so nullus, nulla, nullum. This is a first, second declension adjective or a second declension noun, depending if you're using it substantively, right? And it means no one. No one, not any. Okay. Or no, like no other. No, insert other thing here. Okay. So singular, plural, I'll have a masculine, feminine, and neuter column. How far where can I get? Nullus, nulla. Ooh, I don't know. I'm trying to make an F there. Nullum, nulli. A little bit more room, so we have room enough for the genitive. Nulli, nulla. So that's not any, no or none, no one, plural, singular. Okay. In the genitive, nulli, 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 nullorum, nullarum, nullorum. And then in the dative, so that's of not, of none, of no one, of not any. In the dative, it would be nullo, nulli, so 2 for no one, nullo, and then 2 for no ones or not any. So oops, looking up a little bit, that was a mistake. So nullis, nullis, nullis. In the accusative, nullum, nullum, nullum. In the plural, nullos, nullas, nulla. And then in the ablative, nullo, nulla, nullo, nullis, nullis, nullis. So what are the forms that we have on here? We have nullum, nullum. So that's either going to be a nominative singular, and that's going to be the neuter form, or it's going to be the masculine form. How do I know which? Well, it could be neuter or masculine. In the translation, it's not really going to matter so much, but we're going to underscore the forms, the relevant forms. It's not going to be nominative because we already have a nominative, we already have a subject here. Okay, so that's nullus, nulla, nullum. Same thing like with stultus. You can just kind of cut one out and use it substantively as the noun, or you can just use it as a modifier to modify another noun. So it can be used first, second declension adjective, or as a first, second declension noun. So what's the other one here? Alium. This one is from, we'll go ahead and decline it quickly. This one is from alias, alia, aliud. And it is an adjective. Okay, so alias, alia, aliud. It's another first, second declension with a little twist. So we'll put our, again, singular, plural. Put our columns down here. Alias, alia, aliud. Oop, I forgot to put the meaning, verbs. So this is other. Other, another, can also be like different. We'll go to the, I mean, we did plural too. Oh, alias, alium, aliud, not alium. Come on, Haley. All right. Ali, alii, alia. Okay. There it is. Line it up nicely. Genitive is, instead of being like ali, it's all, tier, us. And that's all across the board. That's for feminine, alterius, and for neuter, alterius. For the plural, it's, as you would expect, aliorum, aliarum. Don't have enough room. Aliorum. And then on our dative, goes back to what you would expect. So alio, alii, alio, aliis, alicross. Sometimes you just don't have the room and it's running off the page. Let me subscribe. There's a lot of writing today. In the accusative, there's the word alium in the masculine, alium in the feminine accusative, and then of course, because this is a neuter, you're going to repeat that form, aliud. Alios, alias, alia. And then our ablative, alio, alia, alio, aliis, across. So what's the form that we have on here? Alium, only in the masculine neuter. So that means that this right here, these are masculine singular neuter, or not neuter, masculine singular accusative. Masculine singular accusative. Holy cow, man. So masculine singular accusative. So they are the direct objects of habebunt here. So nullum we said was not any, no one. So no one, not any. And then alium here. So we put masculine, accusative, singular, both of And then alium here was another different. So no one other. Taking together, you're going to take that as no other. So this sentence is, but the fools, but fools or the fools have no other. Or like no one. Okay, so taking all together, the first part of our, I didn't leave myself much room to write the translation. Fool, who's the fool now? I'm the fool. So experience is a, you could also take this to be careful, but precious or dear is fine. We'll just write it super small. Experience, experience is a precious teacher, precious, expensive, dear teacher. Trying to think of precious, expensive. Keep the idea of expensive in your mind. Valuable too. Valuable. That's the word I wanted in the beginning. Hooray! A valuable teacher. But fools, they have no one other. So it's saying that yes, it might be inexpensive, it might be painful, it might be it's good, but also comes with a price to have experience as a teacher, but it's the only option that fools have. They kind of have to. It's talking about people who can't learn from other people's mistakes. You can't watch somebody, you can't see somebody touch a stove, touch the stovetop, get burnt, and learn, like, don't do that. Better not do that, better not touch the stove. It's saying that fools have to, in addition, touch the stove. I saw you touch the stove. You got burnt. What's going to happen when I touch the stove? So it's an expensive lesson, but they can't learn from watching somebody else is what it's saying, essentially. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you felt like you got a good understanding of how the sentence was translated and why, and a better idea of why we draw the lines in different clauses where we do. I'll have more sentences for you another time. Walete.